What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Independent Waters. I am your host, Mikey Manfredi, and joining me, as usual, Zach Batista. Zach, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing great on this wonderful day. Fall's starting to come in a bit now, and I am a huge fan of fall. I'm done with the heat at this point now. It's nice and cool. It's just, I'm chilling right now.
Oh, yeah, I love fall. It's the best season. The other day I woke up, and I was a little bit cold, and my feet hit the floor and on like the tiles, and they were cold, and I was like, "This is the best."
I know. Fall is this nice little like.
I had a nice cup of coffee. I sat by the window, read a book.
Exactly.
Fall's man, felt that little chill. It was great.
It's this beautiful time of the year where like it's not too hot, it's not too cold. It's just nice. I just love it.
Awesome. Fall and spring are my favorite seasons because it's like it's not too deathly cold and it's not too deathly hot. Exactly. It's always like that perfect mix of temperatures in fall and spring, and it's my two favorite seasons of all time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So with fall coming in, I am very excited to get into more guys falling down, in wrestling. Nailed it. Flawless transition.
I hate you right now so much.
Yeah, but we got some big things coming in on this show, and I'm very excited about it. Just wait till next week's episode, folks. It's gonna be very interesting.
It's gonna be, as the kids these days, I think, still say, lit.
It's gonna be lit, quite lit. All right, so you know what? Let's get right into it. Zach, do you remember who started off last week?
I believe I started off last week.
All right, so if you do not mind, I think I'm going to kick us off this week then.
I'll go for it, my friend.
I'm going to kick us off with a match from PWX Wrestling, Ode to Tradition. This match is Jeff Cobb versus JD Drake. This, if you can picture a hoss fight, this is it. These are two big lads slapping meat. That's what this match is. Just two big dudes throwing their body weight at each other. It starts off fast and furious. This match is only like 12 minutes long, so as soon as the bell rings, it starts. They're going.
Oh, they're just going. All right.
They're bouncing off. Yeah, they're running the ropes. They're leapfrogging each other and they're huge, which is wild. They're throwing gigantic drop kicks at each other, knocking each other across the ring.
Ooh,
Cobb is throwing JD Drake. JD Drake is throwing Cobb. They're knocking each other. They're knocking each other silly outside. They're punching each other in the face. There's one. Oh God, that was terrible. There was one part outside the ring where they were going to punch each other, but they both ducked under and they hit the ring post instead of the other person.
Ooh, all right, I like it.
And they both hurt their hand. And then there's one point where they both punch each other on the outside with the hands they both injured and both go, ah! And then there's this one bit where JD Drake has Cobb on the apron, like sitting down, and he tosses him up and elbows him.
Ooh.
And Cobb just drops like a sack of bricks. Like he just goes down. And JD Drake throws him back in the ring, and I don't know how the ring held up through all this beef in it. Like these two were big boys. There was a big superplex spot, and my brain was broken because I was like, the ring's gonna break. Then I was like, oh wait, no, it's the Indies. They can't afford to break the ring. And then there's some crazy spots where Jeff Cobb hits JD Drake with a huge slam, and then hits him with just a standing moonsault. Not moonsault, a standing shooting star press.
Oh my.
Which is even more ridiculous because of the size of
because fuck you,
Jeff
gravity.
Cobb. Yeah. And then we had JD Drake's come right back, hit Cobb with a big slam, and hit a moonsault off the top rope. We had two big guys just flipping, using agility, just slapping me. It's just crazy. There's a big hoss fight, but also these guys can show that they're pretty agile. They can do some pretty crazy stuff.
Nice.
In the end, though, JD Drake picks up the win with his finisher, the drill bit, and takes it home. Gets the 1-2-3 on Jeff Cobb. This match was cool. This match was fun. I'm going to give it a meh. It wasn't a markout for me because, like I said, it was only 12 minutes, and it was just kind of just like it was just a hoss fight. Mm-hmm. And they sprinkled in some high flying stuff, some moonsaults and some shooting star presses and stuff. They sprinkled in the flair.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a crazy emotional like 5-star matchup. It was good. It was fun. It was like high met because I enjoyed watching it for sure.
Oh, okay, that's good to hear. Hoss fights are always fun for me, just because, like I said, it's just two like walls of just two, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just two forces just slamming into each other repeatedly like in a car crash.
The immovable force meets the what is it? The unstoppable force meets the immovable object.
Yes, it's like two cars crashing into each other, and it's just amazing.
It's two trucks full of cement just slamming into each other.
I love it.
All right, what's your
on that match?
Zach, what's your first match?
So I decided for my match I was going to go for another women's match, and I ended up going upon Tasha Steelz versus Kaitlin Diemond from Battle Club Pro. So this match started off, and I will say right now, for the record, this is probably one of the smallest crowds I've ever seen for this show. Like, there was, like, I think a total of, like, seemingly, like, 20 fans. But, I will say one thing about this match right off the bat. The audio for this match, the mixing isn't the greatest because there's more announcer than there is stuff in the ring, so it's kind of hard to hear when they're talking in the ring, which is a bit of a bummer, because I'm just like, I wanted to hear more of, like, the wrestlers, not the announcers, but, whatever. The match... Fair. So, Diemond is this super tall, blonde woman who's from Canada, I believe. Tasha Steelz is this smaller black woman who I believe... I don't know if she's either Puerto Rican or she's... actually, no, I think she's wearing red, white, and blue, so she's for America. She might be Puerto Rican, but I don't actually know that. Mm-hmm. So the match starts off with a bunch of good, solid, like, chain wrestling. Like, they're getting each other in, like, arm bars and then getting out, like, flipping out. Like, they do the spot where, like, she's got her in head scissors and then she, like, does a handstand and it kind of, like, pops out of it. Mm-hmm. So then Tasha kind of, like, taunts Diemond a bit. And Diemond gets mad at her, so she, like, she then gets
Classic.
She gets the upper hand on her, knocking her to the ground. She then gets her in a guillotine on the bottom rope, ropes her in, like, the throat. She then starts to choke her out before the ref has to make her stop. And at this point now, you can very much tell that Diemond is the heel and Tasha is the face. Mm-hmm. Another thing to note is Tasha is apparently someone that the crowd has gotten used to. She is a regular on here, whereas Diemond is not. She's an outsider, at least as far as the crowd's concerned.
Oh, dang. Following
this, it's like a lot of Diemond just kind of dominating Tasha, like, like kicking her, like putting her, like working over, I believe... She was working over pretty hard, like, typical, like, hitting her on the ground, taking as much as she can with the ropes and stuff. Mm-hmm. Tasha eventually, like, starts to mount a comeback, and then as she, like, starts to do it, Diemond just kind of palms her in the throat again, and then hits her with, a surfboard stretch where she, like, pulls her legs, she puts her knee into, like, the small of her back and pulls both her arms back. So as you tell, the throat is quite important for her at this point.
Yeah.
The crowd starts getting into it, and they start to help Tasha kind of hulk up. And Diemond then once again stops her and starts to choke her out again, this time with the ropes and her hand again.
Jeez.
Lot of choking out in this match, oddly enough.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah. Let's see. The next cool spot is where, like, I actually really like this spot where the two of them are running. And you know how, like, usually people have the double clothesline spot where they both fall down to the ground then? Mm-hmm. Yeah, these two were just like, nah, screw that. We'll just do a double headbutt spot. And I was like, I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's cool. I like that. These two were knocked down for a bit. Tasha finally, after all this, after getting interrupted every time she started to mount to come back, gets control for a bit and hits a running knee on Diemond, throws her in the corner, running forearms her, and then gives her a front chancery suplex, I believe is what the announcer called it. Mm-hmm. Diemond kicked out of this, of course. She then got up and big booted Tasha in the face. And then when she went to go get her, Trish Stratus' a finisher, the Stratisfaction, which is like it's a springboard running bulldog.
Yeah.
Tasha does that. And actually looked pretty good. There was this moment there where I was actually worried it wasn't going to hit, but she hit it, and I was like, nice. I was like, this is good. The match then kind of went right into its closing sequence where Diemond grabs her and gets her in a Uranagi slam. Tasha kicked out and then jumped on the back of Diemond, tried to get her into a sleeper. She hit Tasha into the corner and knocked her off, which Tasha then used the ropes after she threw her into the corner to, like, jump over Diemond. And from there, she blocked a punch. You know how, like, at AEW, Big Swole does the dirty dancing where she, like, grabs her opponent's fist and then she spins them around?
Yeah.
She basically did that, except then she hit her for with her finisher, which is the Ace Crusher or an RKO/cutter for the win.
Nice.
The match was very short. I'd have to give this match a meh, because while this match isn't anything special, Just fine. Both girls are quite good, and from what I read on there, Tasha's getting a lot better, and Diemond is quite good as well, too. So, like, yeah, the match is fine. It's just, like, when I was sitting here thinking about it, I was like, there was nothing really, like, that just stood out for me in this match, besides the running headbutt spot that I talked about.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, meh.
Okay.
Nothing too great, nothing too awful. I would watch another match with these two in the future, just because, like, there was no bad wrestling here, which is something that I, like, just... As long as the wrestling isn't bad... a match is usually watchable for me.
That's fair. All right. So my next match I'm bringing to the table, I got Josh Briggs versus AR Fox.
Ooh.
From Limitless Wrestling from an event called the Vacation Land Cup 2018. This is my first time watching both of these guys.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of good things about AR Fox, especially from our friend Ryan over at Hit the Books, because he's from Atlanta and AR Fox is from Atlanta, so we've seen a lot of AR Fox.
Nice.
I've heard good things about this guy. I've heard good things about Josh Briggs, so I was like, sure, why not? Let's just jump right into it. This match was pretty good. I liked it a lot. It was the basic powerhouse versus high flyer dynamic between Josh Briggs and AR Fox. AR Fox playing the face, Josh Briggs doing the heel stuff.
Yep.
Throughout most of this match, Josh Briggs is kind of dominating. He's beating up. Like, it starts off a little back and forth, but then Josh Briggs gets the upper hand and ends up beating down AR Fox. Basically, there's like almost this whole match, but there's a big comeback towards the middle, which is insane because it made me realize how quick AR Fox is and how, like, insane he is in the ring.
Ooh.
He flies around that ring. It's nuts. He's
Sonic.
jumping up. He's jumping up to the top rope. He's bouncing off the rope. He's doing, like, crazy springboard cutters. He gets, like, crazy height on everything he does. It's wild. Watching Fox is like watching Fox go is just like watching a pinball. Like, bounce around in a pinball machine. Like, that's what it reminds me of.
Nice.
Yeah, it was wild watching this match. There's some dirty spots here and there, of course, because, you know, that's what Josh Briggs does. Some spots where he's choking him out, some spots where he does some dirty stuff. There's this one, he hits his finisher during the match, and I know because the announcer sold it like crazy. It's called the Go to Hell.
Oh, okay.
And what it is a choke slam almost. He picks him up in a choke slam, and then he pushes them forward and flips them, and when they fall, he hits them with a go to sleep.
That is so sick.
It is. It was really sick to watch. So it's like a choke slam go to sleep almost. And he hits him with his finisher. The crowd is like, oh man! The announcers are going crazy, and then Fox kicks out.
Oh my god!
And the match keeps going. Fox comes back. He hits a crazy swanton. Josh Briggs, I swear to God, is laying in the middle of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And AR Fox jumps up on the top rope, and he's like, "You know what? I got this." and he just leaps halfway across the ring with a huge swanton bomb.
Jesus.
And then Briggs kicks out of that, and then AR Fox goes to hit his finisher, the 450 splash.
Mm-hmm.
The first time he goes for it, he misses, and Briggs. That's when Briggs caught him by the neck and hit him with the go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was crazy. He did like the 450, landed on his feet, and Briggs just went whap.
Oh my god!
And just grabbed him by the throat.
It's like Darth Vader or something like that.
Yeah, it was wild. And then Fox does end up hitting the 450 later in the match, to which Briggs kicks out.
Oh my god!
And then they get up on the top rope, both of them, and Briggs hits a huge, like, almost like a off the top rope, like, choke slam backbreaker.
Oh.
Yeah, like, he got him in the choke slam. I'm like, oh my god, he's going for like a super go to hell. But then he ends up hitting like a completely different move, where he, like, brings him up, but then he jumps with him and, like, throws him onto his knees.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and then he ends up getting the pin with that move, and Josh Briggs ends up winning this match. This match was good. It was like I said, it was the typical speedy guy versus powerhouse guy who wins, you know. And in this one, Josh Briggs ended up winning, and I can give this match a meh. It was fine. Nothing crazy special. It was short though. It was like 12 minutes.
Oh man, I kind of want to see a Fox in action now.
Yeah, me too. I definitely want to see more of Fox, like, for sure, because it's just so sick watching him move like that. It's insane. He's literally just like a pinball. It's crazy.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, so I give that match a meh. It was good. It was fun. Nothing crazy special though. Nothing that blew me away.
Okay. All right. Going off of that, for my next match, I actually decided to pick a death match because it's been a bit since I've watched one on this show.
All right.
So
it's been a bit. It's been like 2 weeks.
Yep. What can I say? I like my brutal matches. So
I think we watched what you.
First week I watched.
What was it? Episode. When did you review Ultramantis Black versus Nick Gage?
Second. You reviewed it the second week, and then for the third week, then I had to watch the match.
Oh yeah, so it's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And I was like, a whole 2 weeks since we watched the death match. So long. Sorry, everyone, for disappointing you.
I was like, you know what? I could go with some barbed wire in my life. All right. So the match I decided to go for this week was Matt Traymont versus Jimmy Lyon at H2O from H2O Wrestling at H2O Sweet Dreams in a no rope barbed wire match.
Sounds like a Matt Tremont match.
Yep. So the match started out, and the crowd for the start was very clearly behind Traymont. Like, they literally were asking him to just murder Lyon, and I was like, okay. I'm like, this is what we're going
All right, well, I see what I got myself into.
Yep. Lyon's got, like, a flannel jacket on and, like, a shirt and multiple layers of clothing on because, as I learned, this is his first barbed wire rope match, whereas Matt Traymont, this is his...
I really like that. The guy whose first barbed wire death match it is comes in like waddling out because he has like 30 layers on.
He's fully clothed.
He has like a t-shirt, a long sleeve shirt, a flannel, a winter coat.
Exactly.
He's like sweating, but he's like, at least I won't get hit by the barbed wire.
Exactly, dude. And then you got Matt Traymont, who's just in a tank top and some pants, and the announcer's, this is 44th time in this match, and I was like, wow. I was like, okay.
My God. Can you imagine doing 40? That's so much.
I know.
Like the amount of shit that happens in a death match, doing that 44 times boggles my mind. Like, how could I see why he's retiring soon.
Yeah, because like that shit that hurts, man. Barbed wire is
Christ.
Oh. So anywho, they go through the announcers. I believe Jimmy Lyon was like the Alabama king of the jungle or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt Traymont's the bulldozer, as everyone knows. I didn't until this match, but they're nice enough to let you know. So the match starts, and Lyon immediately gets out of the ring. Right, he does the whole thing where he walks around the ring, and you think, oh, all right, he's leaving. So he walks over.
Like, I don't know if I'm ready for this, man.
Exactly. He walks back to the entrance ramp. He steps onto a box and goes into Gorilla. Right. You think he's gone for a second. And then he comes out with what I can only assume are two red crosses made up of rulers or yardsticks. Puts them both in two corners, and then he proceeds to just take off all his layers of shirts I just said he had on. So he's just shirtless now.
All right.
And I was like, oh, damn. I'm like, oh, we're going into this. He's ready to take some. He's going to take some.
At first, you thought he was going to be a chicken shit about it, but then he's like, hold on.
And,
I got this.
Oh, man. So the match starts, and Traymont and him start brawling a bit. And Traymont immediately goes, sorry, buddy. And he just throws him into the barbed wire back first. Twice. Both times look like it sucks. It's just awful. He then gets a barbed wire bat ran across his head, and then he gets chucked into one of the crosses. And as Traymont goes to pin him, he lifts his head up after a tune goes, fuck that. And the crowd was like, yeah, murder this dude. Oh, my.
He's like, nope, I'm out. This sucks. Goodbye.
Oh, my God. So the next spot in particular, just... Oh, okay, so I have to describe this. So they, in the ring, have these two barbed wire bats. I'm pretty sure they're wooden, and you'll understand why in a bit. They have barbed wire wrapped around them, and Matt Traymont gets one. He's like, how about two? And some guy's like, play the drums on his back, and I'm like, oh, no. And he just wailed on him with these bats, man. Like, the impact they made me cringe every time. I was like, oh, my God, he's actually hitting him with this stuff. And... you're wondering to yourself, oh, man, you must have been hitting him with just, like, and it wasn't barbed wire. No. When he got up after this, his entire back was just ripped apart. It looked awful and amazing, and I loved every bit of it. So then Lyon's crawling on the ground. He grabs one of the other barbed wire bats as Traymont goes to like hit him again. And he low blows him 3 times with the barbed wire bat. Like it was like once, twice, and Traymont's still standing. 3rd time he just falls over like a sack of potatoes. And I was like, all right. Yeah. I remember the crowd was just like, ooh, it was like that. It just, Traymont sold it like he was like any person would do when they get kicked in the nuts. It's just like, just shock, pain, and then you're just on the ground. Just done. So then, Lyon gets up and he starts to get his payback. He throws Traymont twice into the barbed wire. The first time, there's a particular spot because you can see the barbed wire kind of hook into his arm for a second, and he starts bleeding from there. And I was like, ooh, I'm like, that sucks. I was like, ugh.
Oh, barbed wire. It looks so bad.
I know.
It always looks so rough.
And if I recall, that was the second time. The first time he did, he got thrown in the barbed wire, and the ref was asking him, like, do you give up? Because he was like, he had his arms wrapped around 2 of the ropes in it, and I was like, oh, why would you do that to yourself? I was like,
oh,
no.
man. It reminds me of when I was working backstage. I was working backstage at a deathmatch event, and oh, man. Watching, just looks like, seeing some of the wrestlers is just like in the back, just like walking around and just like getting a glance at all the scars they have on their back from the crazy shit they've done is just wild. I'm like, wow, like their backs are just like, their backs are just like munched up by just barbed wire and light tubes and just thumbtacks and years of just bullshit, like
exactly.
years of like crazy deathmatch bullshit. It's just wild.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. Like it's like why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah,
I'll still watch it. It's entertaining, but God, I couldn't. So, remember how I said Traymont wailed on Lyon? So I said that he got thrown in the barbed wire twice. The second time he got thrown there and he was stuck, he proceeded to get payback on him by just wailing him in the arm with these barbed wire bats. Like,
jeez.
Just once, twice. He's pretending to be like baseball. He's like, oh, batter up. Hits him on the arm. He's like, let's do some switch hitting. Hits him again. He then, like, runs the barbed wire over his face.
Let's do some switch hitting.
Yep. He then ran the barbed wire over his face and busted him open.
Nice.
Oh, man. I'm reading my notes here. Oh, yes. So after that, and he hits him a couple more times with the bats, he's pinning Matt. The ref goes 1. He lifts his head up, just, like, very similar to how, like, at that point I realized that he literally did exactly what Matt did to him. He threw him into the barbed wire twice. He wailed on him with the bats afterwards, and then he lifted his head up after getting his offense. I was like, nah, not yet.
Nah, I'm not done.
So, the next scary spot, which, God help me, this spot had me cringing. So, in wrestling, when someone gets you up into, like, a suplex position, and then they just drape you over the top rope? Yeah, they did this with Lyon. The guy without his shirt on?
Yeah.
He hit the rope.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Fell over. It looked horrible because he got tangled up in the barbed wire immediately. Like, his leg got completely mangled in it. It looked so scary. I was like, oh, my God. He got out. I think, like, his leg was ripped up a bit on the inside, but you didn't notice it as much. But I was like, that could have been so bad. I was like, oh, my God, why would you do that to yourself? Oh, my God. Look,
Deathmatch wrestlers are an enigma to me.
Oh my God! So here's the thing: throughout the entire match,
hey man, like do what makes you happy, but like I don't know how you could do it, man. Yeah. It's wild.
I guess I should point out to this match that there was actually a story going into this match, funnily enough, that I didn't realize until afterwards when I looked around for it. So throughout the match, Traymont's been telling him like stuff like, "You wanted this match," and I realized that apparently for months of build-up, Jimmy Lyon was asking for this match, and Matt kept telling him no.
Great.
So I was like, "Oh my God, this is his first death match, and he's just putting himself through these types of spots." I was like, I got to give the guy fair props. Like that was a scary spot. Anywho,
yeah.
Back on track. The next big spot. So like Traymont then points to a table on the outside, which is barbed wire on it. So we cut all the ropes off on one side of the ring.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of a part of the match where I realized these bats are wooden. So an attempt to not go through this table because why would you ever want to go through this table? Him and like Traymont fight over on the side of the ring. They're hitting each other. Lyon gets the bat, and he just starts to wail on Traymont's arm, and he hits him so hard he actually broke the bat.
Oh my God!
Like he swung and broke, and he was just had the handle in his hand. The whole crowd was like, "Holy shit! How are you hitting him?" Jesus. And then he runs and does like an arm drag hip toss, and he throws Traymont right through the table.
Oh,
It sucked. It looked awful. Traymont was just like, oh, I was like, God, that's awful. Like, he got the full. Oh, I was like, God, that sucks. So then, after he finally gets up, and he's just, like, waddled his way back to the wing, I think Lyon tries to pin him, and he kicks out. He gets up, and Lyon's on the other side of the ring, and he yells at him. He's like, come on, is that the best you guys? Like, come and get me. And he runs at him, and he just throws Lyon, like, chest first into the barbed wire again.
Oh, no.
And it looked like he got hung up a bit on it, too, and that just looked... it looked like horrible.
God, the worst is when they try to, like, get off of it and it gets hooked in.
Oh, yeah, I have to remind you, there were a couple times in this match where the barbed wire got caught on his hair when he was in, like, the corner, and he, like, you could see him, like, he was like, oh, shit, and he looked back. Like,
that's
it was like,
why Traymont is bald.
Yeah, see, for him, he had the long hair, so, like, when you know when I said at the beginning, he got thrown to, like, the corner by the cross, and he got tangled up? Before that, he actually got the top of his hair tangled up, and you could see him go, like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, that sucks. I'm like, that just sucks.
Yikes.
So after that, let's see. Traymont then tried to get the pin after he, like, ran him into the ropes, and he didn't win. And he gets annoyed, not because he didn't want to win, but because he didn't want to keep doing that. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I don't want to do this to you. He's like, I don't want to have to do it again. So
I have to do it.
So he gets the bolt cutters out again. He cuts off another set of ropes. And now, you remember when I said Lyon walked across a box? They opened this box, and it's just a coffin filled with barbed wire.
Oh, my God.
I was like, oh, no. I was like, oh, God. So, again, the two of them start fighting to see who's going to get this awful coffin filled with barbed wire, and it ends up being Lyon. Traymont gets him in a fireman's carry, like an AA, and he just tosses him ass first into here. Like, he lands his ass first into this coffin, and it just sucks. Like, there's a moment where, like, he has to get untangled from it all.
Jesus Christ.
Awful. Shortly after the finish gets through, where Lyon beats him up, and he gets him up into a Death Valley driver, if I recall. And at this whole match, by the way, in one of the corners, there's been like a table with barbed wire on it, and he just full-on Death Valley drivers him through this table before he pins him. After the match, Traymont gets up, and he's like, I'm not going to do this old bullshit-ass shaking hands. We agreed before this. We're not doing it like everyone else does. He's like, but everyone... I think this guy earned his stripes. He earns my respect. And the crowd cheered, which was nice, because the crowd throughout the whole match was literally, like, telling Lyon he was going to die and how he was a loser. And by the end of this match, everyone had respect for him, which I really liked, because, you know, he asked for this match. He took his licks. Honestly, now I'm thinking about it, I give this match, honestly, I was going to give it a high met, but I give it a mark out.
Nice.
I really enjoyed this match.
There.
This match had a lot of really awful looking spots, which you want from a death match. The wrestling wasn't what is a death match wrestling, but I give it just because of the story that Jimmy Lyon was trying to show that he could hang with Matt Traymont in a death match, and he put himself through some punishment, man.
Man, what always gets me after a death match is when the two guys are like, all right, that was a good match. We did good. Nice. And then they're chill with each other. Like, look what you just did to each other.
I know, it's just like,
how could you do that? How could you do that to another person and just be like, yeah, all right, that was cool.
Exactly, dude. Good job. When that bat broke, I was like, oh my God, like, they were wailing on each other, dude. I was like Jesus.
Like, I was watching a documentary. I watched a little bit of a documentary on death matches, and there was one spot where a guy took a bunch of skewers and, like, pounded them into another guy's head.
Oh. Damn.
And then after the match, the two were backstage, and they, like, shook hands and were like, hey, man, good work out there. Yeah, it was awesome. Good job. Good match. We did great.
Good job.
Like, I was like, what? How do you just so casually, like look at somebody else after what you just did to them and just be like,
that guy stabbed me.
Yeah, good job, man.
Yeah,
Handshake.
good job.
Like, what?
It's like, that guy just stabbed me and potentially is harmed
I guess
me
that's
horribly.
just, I thought about it. I guess that thinking about it, it's like, I feel like death matches are like the ultimate sign of trust in wrestlers.
Exactly.
It's just
Yeah.
like, listen, we're going to beat the absolute shit out of each other, and we're going to do some shit that's gonna fucking hurt.
Exactly. But in the end, it's all for entertainment.
But in the end, it's all for the fans, and we both know what we're getting into.
Yep.
So let's just not try to actually kill each other, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, I when I thought about it, this match, like, there were so many spots here where I was... It gave me a good death match, but the reason it gets high is just for I have to say it, the little story of it going through with, like, Traymont the whole time being so, like, reluctant to do this to him, but he's like, but you asked for it, so you're getting it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good match. I'm excited that you liked it.
Oh, man. Moving
on. All right. Let's move on to our match that we both ended up watching this week.
Yes, this one. I picked this one out off of a thread I saw on Reddit. Someone was like, this match is really good. Not many people talk about it now, and it was Trevor Lee versus Chip Day from Mid-Atlantic Wrestling at the Kernodle Tournament Finals.
I think it's Kernodle. I don't know.
It's
Kernodle,
one of them,
Kernodle, whatever.
It's for the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling World Championship, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I were to best describe this match, it would be a slow burn that doesn't feel like it's slow at all.
Yeah, I got that. The feel like for me, it was a slow burn because it did start off a little slow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of like mat wrestling a lot, where it's just like two guys just putting each other in submission holds and we're doing like oh, I got you in this submission. Oh, now I got you in this submission. Oh, now I got you in this submission.
Exactly.
And then like I'm not the hugest fan of that. So like at first I wasn't as into this match, but boy howdy does it pick up.
Oh yeah. For one other thing I want to at least mention here is for those who don't know, as I learned when he walked in, Trevor Lee is Cameron Grimes on NXT right now, because the moment I saw that man's hairy ass chest and beard, I was like, is that fucking Cameron Grimes?
Knew it.
It's like, what the hell? I looked up. He is.
Yeah. Another thing about this match being slow is that they kind of stare each other down a lot. There's a lot of moments where they hit each other with a move, like after they back off and
after they get like
each
the
other
stalemate.
for a little while.
Yeah, they have like a stalemate and they look up and they're like, okay. I will note here that the crowd was heavily in Lee's favor at the beginning because, as they said, he was like the hometown guy, their champion. I have to also give props. The announcers in this match were fucking fantastic. I love the announcers in this match.
They were selling the match like crazy. Mm-hmm. I was so into it, because honestly, partly because of those announcers.
Oh, dude, one of the guys there, I don't know which one, was like going absolutely ballistic, but we'll get to that. So, the beginning of the match was like a very much like a stalemate. Like each guy was trying to get like a one up on the other one. Some holds here, some holds there. Both of them being like, okay, and like it slowly kind of ramped up, and then finally Chip gets a kick in on Lee. And I gotta say, that kick, I was like, once I heard the impact of that kick, I was like, oh man, I'm like, this is gonna...
Bro, all of his kicks sounded like thunder.
I know, I was like, what? Oh man,
he kicked the crap out of Lee.
Like, the strikes in this match were so good. From the chops to... Chip had some fantastic punches, great kicks, amazing chops. Both guys did really good here with the strikes.
I agree. This was it started off as like a submission fest, and then it turned into a striking fest.
Exactly.
Where these two just absolutely, literally kicked the crap out of each other.
Wailed on each other.
They like kicked each other's teeth in. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, like there was like a bunch where like Chip got on the offense, was just kicking the shit out of Trevor. Trevor eventually got him in a rear naked, which, as I learned from the announcer, thank you for making this more of a scary spot, was like, oh my god, he's won titles with that before. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, what? I was like, what's the match going to be? He got out of it, by the way, but it was still like a cool thing for the announcer to make someone like me, who didn't know that, because apparently Trevor was champion for a long time before this happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard he was one of their longest reigning or something like that.
I remember about a specific point in this match, too, where they were like, oh, he fought Cedric Alexander for an hour straight, and that was when I suddenly realized, I was like, oh yeah? Man. I was like, oh, man, this match might go to the distance, because the video on this is an hour long that this is for, so I was like, oh my god, I'm like, is this going to go an hour?
Yeah, I turned on this video, and I was like, is this going to be an hour-long match right now? This is going to be crazy. Is it like an Iron Man match or something?
I know.
But it turns out it's the rest of the event. The match ended up being like 40-ish minutes?
Yes, something like that.
It's like 30 to 40 minutes or something like that. It's still like a crazy long match.
It did not feel that long for me. Like, once you got into it, I was into this.
Yeah, man. This match got going and stayed going.
Like, there was like a disgusting clothesline by Trevor on Chip, where Chip literally ran and got hit and did a full flip inside out. Like, I was like, holy shit, he just flipped him onto his face. I was like, that's just awful. And I loved it.
Yeah, there was also one point where one of them, I think it was Trevor Lee, they both stood up, gave each other that look, and then shook hands, and they agreed to just, like, it was like a quick agreement to, like, hey, we're just gonna have a slapping contest.
Yes, that was later on. I remember that specifically.
And then it was just like, Lee was like whap, and Day was like whap, and they just kept hitting each other back and
over and over. Oh,
over and over. It was just so crazy to me that just in the middle of the match they had like that quick, like, you know what? Yeah, let's just punch each other and see who goes down first. Like,
exactly. Like, I remember, because it was after this, because Trevor did a superplex on Chip. They both almost got a 10 count, but then they started to move, and the ref was like, nope, we're continuing this match, and they both got up and then just beat the shit out of each other. like every strike, they slapped the shit out of each other, and then Chip kicked Trevor in the chest, so Trevor started kicking him in the chest, and every strike just looked so good.
God, it was brutal.
Felt so good. Oh my God! And then after that, I think another cool spot was like Trevor actually used his finisher in WWE, which is the cave-in, which I think he would call for like the angels, like strike from heaven, I think is what it was called here, or something like that. Except it was cool because Chip got his knees up when he came down, so he landed on his back and he couldn't pin him, which I thought was a really cool spot as someone who watches grime in WWE. I think Chip had like this disgusting looking black mask to the face, which just
that was wild. That kick, and just when he hit Lee with that kick, and Lee just dropped.
Oh, he was dead.
He was down like a sack of potatoes. He was down.
Then I think he got up.
He was just like, boom.
Exactly. And then when somehow he gets up from that, and he threw Chip to the outside. He went to go do his signature kick, and Chip just kicked his leg out from underneath him, and he just fell face first. I was like, "Oh!"
Chip was just like, nope.
Oh, dude, Lee's selling.
Get out of here with that bullshit.
Oh, dude, Lee's selling here was on a different level on some of these kicks. Like, there were some kicks where, like, Chip kicked him in the stomach, and he just collapsed. It was just like, oh, God.
Yeah, this match was wild.
Oh, God.
There was that one spot where Day was just holding Lee's hands and just kicking his head in.
Oh, damn, dude. Yeah,
and the ref had to like push him off and like see if Lee was like see if Lee was like knocked out or not, and he was like, Lee, can you continue? Are you okay? Can you continue? And Lee just wasn't answering, and as soon as the ref was about to call the match, Lee just like raises the hand and goes, "No!"
He's like, "Get the fuck off of me!" And I was like, "Oh shit!"
No! And he just stands up. I was like, "What?"
I know, right? Oh, dude, I remember that, because if I recall correctly, it was after, like, Chip hit all his finishers on him, like, hit the double knees, he hit, like, a running back, like, knee on the back of his head, he hit a neck breaker, and he still kicked out, and he just got so angry, he just started kicking the back of his head, and I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, is this match going to end with him just making Lee go unconscious? Nope. Got up.
I thought it might have.
That was very close.
I was like, wow.
I got to put props here, too. Ref, whoever you are out there, you sold these kickouts so well, dude. He looks so surprised.
They said his name over and over again. It was Robbie something.
Yeah, I forgot it, but like I remember specifically thinking to myself,
it was
like,
Robbie
this ref,
something, because they kept doing the line where it's like, Robbie's got the best vantage point. It was 2 count.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember specifically like thinking to myself, I was like, because the announcers popped off every time the kick out happened, the crowd popped off, and the ref popped off. Like the ref was like, "Holy shit, you kicked out of that!"
Yeah, there was one moment I recall where somebody kicked out of like some crazy finishing move, and I saw like 4 people in the crowd literally jump to their feet and go, "Oh my God!"
Oh my God, yeah. If I recall, oh man, I'm trying to think of which one it was. It was probably when Chip did the whole finishing sequence after he started to kick the shit out of him afterwards. Oh, yeah. I remember there was a point where Lee locked in the STF, which apparently is his actual finisher, which he wins a lot of the time. And I was like, oh shit! I was like, he's gonna win. He's gonna win. Nope. Chip got out, and then he just fucking
Chip got to the rope,
got up, and then disrespected Lee by hitting him with his own running knee in the face, which is, I think, as I'm reading now, which is then where he stomped the back of his head, and I was like, wow. It's like, holy crap, yeah, that's why I thought that match was going to end there, because I was like, oh my God.
But it doesn't. This match just doesn't end. Every time you think it's over, it just keeps going.
Because right after he gets up after the stomping, that's when the two of them didn't decide they're just going to slap each other in the face, and it was fucking hard, man. It was like, oh my God. It's like, damn. It just kept going and going. The finishing sequence of this match, I thought, was fantastic. Let's see. So they slap the shit out of each other. Trevor gets him in like a guillotine, but he transitions it into like a brainbuster somehow, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's what it was. He grabbed him in a submission. Like, he was like holding him down with the submission, wearing him down. Gets him up, does what the announcers call Orange Crush, which is like a brainbuster combo, followed by like a kick to the back of the head, and he got a pin off of that, and I was like, oh, I popped off, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, let's fucking go. It was like this fucking match. It's like, the announcer literally was dying every time like they hit off their finishers, which I was just like, holy shit. I was feeding off it, Mikey. Like, I was like feeding off of the crowd's enthusiasm for this.
Yeah, this crowd was great. The announcers were great. The ref was great. The competitors, everything about this match was great.
It was so fucking good. Like, this match, as you can't tell,
the way this match like flip-flopped me from being like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna really like this match. It looks like it's just gonna be a submission fest. It's like not really my kind of style. To just like absolutely popping me out of my chair was just like that. Like
Exactly.
there was that one moment where it just hits and just switches. That one kick from Day where it just completely turns the match on its head.
He kicks that and they go into full on like aggressive on each other.
Yeah,
it was so good. Like everything looked good in this match. There was not a single thing. And like I gotta give hats off to the fucking crowd and the announcers and everyone, because you guys' excitement made me love this match even more than I already was. You guys made this like so good. Oh my god.
Yeah, man, this match was insane.
In case you can't tell us, I get this match a mark out.
I also give this match a mark out. I gotta
this.
agree with you there. This match was really great. These two absolutely put everything they had on the line for this match and threw it all out there. And one of my favorite parts was after the match, where Trevor Lee just drops the title and goes and picks up Chip Day.
I remember that, yeah.
And the ref raises both of their hands.
Yeah.
And they give each other a big hug.
Yeah, because...
And then as Lee is walking out, he starts the thank you, Chip, or something. It's like thank you, Day.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? It was thank you, Chip Day. That was it.
Yeah. Oh man,
and he just left with that, and we had that nice image of Chip Day sitting in the ring, and the whole crowd just chanting for him. It was awesome.
It was very good. Yeah, it's weird, honestly, seeing
a tear fell from my eye.
Yeah. It's weird for me, honestly, seeing Trevor Lee or Cameron Grimes not being a heel. Because on NXT, he is literally a despicable heel. And then here, he's just a respectable champion that, like, everyone is just like, yeah, he's a good guy. He's just really hard to beat.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I fucking love this match, dude.
Yeah, this match was great. It's a mark out, free on YouTube. Go watch it when you get the chance.
Another thing to note for
Trevor Lee versus Chip Day from CWF.
Yep. I will note here for all of my matches, they are free on YouTube. Every single one.
Yeah, same here. I watched matches that were only free on YouTube. The Jeff Cobb and JD Drake match, the Josh Briggs and AR Fox match, all free on YouTube. Look them up from Limitless Wrestling and PWX.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think if I recall correctly, the Matt Traymont video I watched is actually on his YouTube.
There you go. Perfect. So, well, with all of those matches reviewed, and we wrapped those all in a nice, neat little bow, that brings us to our segment, the Double Down, where we do a little bit of a flashback to last week, and Zach watches one of my matches, I watch one of Zach's matches, and we give our own review of a match we heard last week. So, Zach, this week, I believe you gave me to watch Daniel Garcia versus Kevin Bennett from ESW from Empire State Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, this match was great. They didn't waste any time going right at each other. Garcia was acting like the cocky heel. Bennett was the underdog in this match. The remix of pro wrestling was I really was into that. This match is aggressive. These two just beat the crap out of each other, throw each other around. They are hard aggressive, and they are beating the crap out of each other. Garcia, the one thing that kind of messed with me was that the announcers were playing up that Garcia was specialized in like submission holds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him do, I think, one submission this whole match. He hit him with a sleeper hold toward the end, and that was about it.
Yeah, I think that was when he jumped off the top rope and he caught him out of it.
Yeah, and that was the only submission he had that whole match, I feel like. So that one threw me a little bit. But otherwise, it was really good. And Bennett ends up winning the match when he hits the remix from the top rope. This match was insane. I really liked it. I give it a mark out, just to keep it quick and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Easy mark out for me. This match was awesome. I really like both competitors. I can't wait to see more of them. And it's going to be great going forward. So, Zach, let me recall. What match did I give you again?
You gave me Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordynne Grace from Impact Wrestling at Slammiversary
for the title.
What did you think about that?
I thought this match was good. A lot of this match was a bit slower than I was hoping, but granted, this is like my first Deonna Purrazzo match since her time in the Mae Young Classic, and it's my first ever Jordynne Grace match, so I had literally no clue walking into this.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, I loved a lot. There's a lot of this match that I really liked. I loved Jordynne's fucking selling of her arm the whole match. She sounded like a wounded animal, basically, is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, Deonna was working that arm hard that whole match.
Yeah, she was. I also like the way I basically described her in my notes is Jordynne was like the Terminator. She just constantly kept saying Deonna's name was coming at her with like a fucking force of just death. I loved it. I loved Deonna while it was a bit slow for me, I loved her working with the arm. It was clean wrestling. I really enjoyed it. I love Jordine's fucking power moves because they sounded like they had weight to them, man. I was like, damn. I was like, that's great.
Yeah, Thick Mama Pump slamming people around, man.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, though, for me, I don't know. Like, I guess I was kind of hoping this match would really get me more into it, but it didn't get me as much into it, which was unfortunate. I gave this match a meh for me, but I will say this. I really want to see these two go at it again, but I want to see them go at it a bit longer.
Well, you know they do have an Iron Man match on YouTube as well.
I might have to watch that one of these days. Oh man, but yeah, I was a fan of this match. Yeah, it's not my favorite match, but I'm definitely down for it. Seeing more from these two.
Glad to hear it. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the show. We reviewed another 5 matches. That's another week of Independent Waters in the books. I cannot wait till next week to discover more gems from the independent wrestling world. And next week will be a very special episode.
Oh, yes.
So tune in for that. It'll be very special. You'll see why when it gets released. So
it's going to be sick.
Subscribe to the feed so you can get that as soon as it comes out. Go subscribe also to the Hit the Books feed, where you can watch me and Ryan show Hit the Books every Friday, where we book SmackDown and Raw, and we do it our own way because we're awesome and we have our own booking. We do pay-per-views, we do drafts, everything that WWE does, we try to do ourselves. So tune in there. And don't forget to leave us 5-star reviews over on iTunes. That really helps a growing podcast out. So go to the Independent Waters feed. Give us a 5-star. Give us 6 5-star reviews or 6 5-star reviews. Either one would be wonderful. And you can also go check out all these episodes over on our YouTube channel, Hit the Books Podcast, where we post everything and anything that has to do with the podcast. We post Hit the Books. We post Independent Waters. We do some 2K outcomes. We do pay-per-view reviews. Everything over there on our YouTube channel. And go check out our website for the whole backlog of everything that ever had to do with this podcast, htvpod.com. So go check that out. Zach, anything to plug?
No, not as usual.
I refuse to stop asking.
One of these days, I'll actually have something. When I do, it'll completely get you off guard, and I can't wait for that.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up. Can't wait to see you all again next week. Can't wait to spew about more amazing wrestling matches next week. And remember, there is a gigantic sea of independent wrestling out there.
So never stop exploring.